And now, All the Dirt, gardening tips and advice. Sponsored by Farm Credit, loans for farms, homes, and land.
Welcome back. Well, the USDA made changes to the Plant Hardiness Zone Map, and there is a good chance it impacts you and your growing season. Sean Dadnerchick from the Virginia Cooperative Extension is here to give us all the dirt on what these changes mean for growers and gardeners in Southwest and Central Virginia. Welcome, Sean.
Thanks for having me here.
This is a big one.
Yes.
I'm sure a lot of people are talking about it. So before we get into all the details, can you first explain what the Plant Hardiness Zone Map is?
Yeah, so it's basically the standard that growers use to determine what plants are suitable for their location. And it's basically based on the extreme minimum temperatures that a site might receive. So it's broken down into lettered zones. It goes from 1 to 13, and between each or numbered zone, there's basically a 10-degree difference in the minimum temperature. And then the numbered zones are broken down again into lettered zones, A and B, and there's a 5-degree difference in the minimum temperature between each of those letters.
So this is really important for gardeners, and so when a change like this happens, you're going to want to know about it. So what changes impact our local growers and gardeners here?
Yeah, so there are actually some major changes that happened to our area. So for example, Zone 7B used to just be Roanoke City area. And now Zone 7B has expanded into almost all of Botetourt County, all of Franklin County, all of Bedford County, parts of Montgomery County. Floyd County, which used to be Zone 6A and 6B, is now almost all Zone 7A.
Oh,
so
wow.
Huge changes.
Yeah, now this last update, it happened in 2012, and since that time, oh, that's what you were just saying. So let me just find out my place about where I was. We talked about the last time they did this was in 2012. So why did they decide to make these changes now?
Yeah, it's a good question. So basically, you know, they have more data now from all the climate and weather that has occurred since 2012. But they've also about doubled the amount of weather stations that they basically got the data from too. So they've increased, you know, the precision of the data with those increased weather stations, but they've also have more information from all the weather that's happened since then.
And so what do gardeners need to keep in mind with these changes? I mean, because this is about the time of year when you're starting to think about next year's garden.
Yeah, so if you're looking to put new plants into your landscape, it's a good idea to check and see what changes have happened to your climate zone, because you might have more options available to you now. For example, if you're looking to grow fruit, a lot of people who maybe couldn't grow figs or some of the Asian persimmons that were only, you know, hardy to Zone 7 can now incorporate those into their landscape. Plants like gardenias didn't like Zone 6, but they do thrive in Zone 7 and above, so you might be able to grow gardenias now. There's also a popular one, Yapon holly. It looks just like a boxwood, except it's resistant to all the diseases and problems that boxwoods get, but it can only be grown in Zone 7. So a lot of people who maybe weren't or didn't want to grow Yapon holly or didn't think they could grow Yapon hollies can now use that in their landscape, and it's a great way to have the boxwood look without all of the boxwood problems. And some people in like the more protected areas in Zone 7B might also want to experiment with some of the hardy palm trees like Chinese windmill palm.
Yeah, so a lot of possible new options for folks at home. I think it is kind of crazy to me to think that, you know, it's a big change. People should be paying attention to this. But there are so many resources that the Cooperative Extension has to help. Where can they go to get that information?
Yeah, one of the good places actually, North Carolina has a garden map program where you can go on it and you can search by the zone. And look at the, you know, all the plants that you can grow in that particular zone. So that might be a good resource to find new plants you can grow. Also, all of the Virginia vegetable planting calendars use the hardiness zones to also guide the first and last predicted frost dates. So if your climate zone changed, your hardiness zone changed, then you may want to look at those planting calendars and choose the right planting calendar for your hardiness zone. So because your planting dates might have changed by 10 days or so.
Oh yeah, that can be a big deal too, believe it or
Yes.
not. So it's certainly something you're going to want to look into. Sean Dadachik from the Virginia Cooperative Extension, thanks so much for giving us all the dirt today on these big changes that the USDA just did.
Thanks for having me here.
Yeah. And as always, you can find our previous interviews with Sean and more information at All the Dirt, that page on our website at WFXRTV.com.